This is the Real News Network. I'm Jessel Noor, reporting from the 2017 People's Summit in Chicago. I'm here with Lorenzo Serna. He's one of the original members of Unicorn Riot, who the Real News will know well because we used lots of your footage during Standing Rock. Media, not the only, but one of the main independent media outlets there. You had a team reporting where corporate media refused to go, where a lot of independent media didn't go, from the front lines, really exposing what was happening on the ground in Standing Rock, reporting on the government repression and the resistance by water protectors and their allies. Talk about what that was like, because you really put your body on the line collectively. Talk about that.
Well, basically, we just lived there. I don't know how, when we talk about how we were able to cover it, people ask us all the time, like, how were we able to do it? And it's because we didn't go there and stay in the motel or at the casino. Like, we went there and we stayed as near to the camps or as near to the front lines as they were, and we slept there. Like, I slept in the van for the first few weeks or months, and then eventually we got like a camp. So we just did our best to be there every day, and the only way we felt we could honestly cover it is by being there when they were going out to do an action or a prayer, and we could follow them instead of like hearing about it and trying to get there in time. We just lived amongst everybody.
And what role do you think Unicorn Riot and other independent media played in the struggle at Standing Rock? Because not only did you see the largest Native American convergence in over 100 years, but it really took people media, community media to a whole new level, and it really got the combination of those two factors really got international support for what was happening in Standing Rock.
I think that for what our goal as an organization is to hear from the people engaged in social struggle, and so we're not. I wasn't going to Dave Archambault and being like, tell us why people are doing this. I was going to the people and be like, why are you here? And I think that trying to provide some sort of unfiltered narrative from the ground as close as possible is really important, because then you can actually hear why people are doing this. And then also for our organization, we're a collective. We're pretty well organized to spread the information within, I guess, our organization. That's why we're horizontal. And so we're able to write about what was happening almost daily at times, because there's it wasn't just me, obviously. There's writers who are working with me, and we're all working together to try to produce as much content about what was happening as quickly as possible. So the narrative from that ground was going out to whoever wanted to hear it. And then, of course, people got interested, and it got shared more and more and more.
So your followers, your viewers around the world wanted you to be there, but obviously the authorities didn't. Yep. And the authorities had really a brutal crackdown, not only on water protectors, but also by targeting media as well. I know journalists were shot at with rubber bullets, Many were injured, arrested, many facing time in prison for exercising First Amendment protected speech. Can you talk about that as well?
So like if you look at the recent leaks that came out of The Intercept, within those documents they mentioned their Tiger Swans mentioning Unicorn Riot to all these authorities. Within the different leaks, with the sheriffs are talking about us, the police are talking about us, and mostly they spoke about us as people they had to deal with because we were putting information out too quickly and they couldn't construct the narrative. Like they said that in their documents internally, and so I don't know. Like in the end, on day 2, I never released the footage because I didn't want the story to turn about a journalist being under attack. But on day 2, a police officer walked up and swatted my camera out of my hand and just got in my way. And so it was like really clear that they know what media is, but they know who they want to be the media, and it's not anybody who isn't going to them for the answers, And
it's not going to use their official narrative.
Yeah, exactly. And so like
which is what the local media was doing.
Absolutely. Like the local media was just going to the press conferences and listening, and we were just living in the camp and watching what was happening and sort of providing that view, right? So a lot of times our point of view is within the people looking out towards what they're seeing, which is usually a line of police sort of trying to clear them, and the point of view of the corporate media usually is behind the police watching them clear people out. And so I think that's one of the stances. Like we're usually on the other side, sort of witnessing and experiencing what the people are witnessing and experiencing, who are trying to, in their minds, very viscerally change the world in that moment.
And so the struggle at Standing Rock, obviously the pipeline has been built and the oil is flowing. There's still resistance there. They're still aiming to defeat that, but the struggle has spread out from there as well. Talk about what's in the future for you. We know you've been here in Chicago covering some of the struggles locally, and talk about what the future holds for Unicorn Riot.
Right now, like we're aware that resistance is spread out. We've had some stories come out from different resistance camps and sort of trying to put them all together. Right now, part of our crew is working on going to Europe to witness some sort of climate justice actions there. So at least we can bring our audience across and see that this sort of world is in this movement. This world is in this movement. They're engaged in it. They've been engaged in it for a long time, trying to stop sort of like climate destruction that's happening all around. And so like doing our best to try to connect all these folks and make them be able to see themselves as part of this giant organism that is resisting, And I think that's part of what I want to be doing as an organization, is show people the work they're doing. Because as somebody who comes from movements, like when I was on the ground doing that work, I never really had a sense. I knew I was involved in something, but I remember when I'd go home and look and watch somebody who documented it, I'd be like, wow, I can't even believe I was doing that. And so now it's like, that's why I hope that I'm helping provide for people, is them be able to see themselves take these risks that very much putting people's lives, their own lives, are in danger for what they're doing, and that they feel like that's the only thing they have left to do. And I want to be able to at least let people see that people are doing that, and that they believe it, and that's for the reason that they do believe that the world is changing. Like civilization as it's structured doesn't really working, and something has to change, or like their livelihood's gone. When the water is gone, their livelihood's gone. And that narrative, I know it's like, water is life. Like it's everywhere. If everywhere you go, if they don't have water, and you can't survive. And it's like this really weird kind of genocide that's continuing to happen. This colonization that's continuing to happen, but now it's structured under the fossil fuel industry taking land under laws that have been created to take land from the people. So it's the same thing. Just now it's 2017.
And if people want to hear more and learn more about Unicorn Riot, where can they go?
They can go to unicornriot.ninja. That's our website, unicornriot.ninja. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Check it out. We're independent media. We're not nonpartisan, I guess. We just kind of tell it as we see it.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good luck.